It's 7:16. I am now bringing the Sherborn Conservation Commission meeting of May 22nd, 2025 to order with a roll call of who's present on the commission. Michael Lesser present. Jacob?
Jacob Strauss present.
Courtney?
Courtney Eck present.
Matt?
Matt O'Ware present.
Kurt?
Kurt Siegel present.
Okay, I think that's all we have here. Let me admit somebody else here. And let me make you, Courtney, the co-host. Okay. Okay, are there any issues that are not on the agenda that we can add under the 48-hour rule? Okay, hearing none, we will go on with our agenda as is. We have a little bit of a replay of the last meeting as we go through everything. Okay, we have a few minutes here. I am going to take care of a few odds and ends here. So the administrative approval applications, are they all approved except for one?
All but I'm still working on 34 McGregor Drive.
Okay, so 50 Ivy Lane for a soil testing, 35 Stony Brook Road for an addition, 15 Salwin Street for a siding and stairs, and 65 Farm Road, Lot 5 for a new home are all approved as administrative approvals. Okay, I didn't see a warrant there. Let's see. Any very quick side issues, Joyce?
Quick. You put me on the spot.
Okay, fine. We can do it later.
I did go out to Leland Mill Pond and walk the site, and there are 4 trees out there that have been graffitied. Does anybody? They've been sprayed with paint, and I got some pictures in that maybe we can move to the end of the meeting. But I wanted to see if anybody had any thoughts on it. I read up on. I mean, I researched on how to do it, but we don't have access to. Water would have to be brought in. I'm not sure about painting over it, but just looking for thoughts. I will continue to investigate.
Yes, we'll have to look at what it is, what they're saying. Steve, why don't you announce your presence?
Okay, Steve Scrimshaw present.
Thank you. Okay, it is almost ready to start our first hearing, because I don't see anything else that short. Okay. I am waiting till 7:20. Okay, 7:20. I'm now reopening the continued public hearing for the notice of intent for 34 Brush Hill Road. Development of 4 single-family homes. Okay. I believe a draft order of conditions was put in our box and was also sent out to the applicant. And so I'm looking for any
What did I do? I just got off.
What's that? What'd you say? Whoops, okay. Not sure what that was. There is, so the main special conditions are the mitigation with some bounds and the 10 trees or shrubs that we discussed last time. I'll first go maybe to the applicant. I think I see you there, Bob. Hi, Bob. Did you have any issues with the draft?
No, I'm fine with it. Thank you.
Okay. Coming back to the, actually, I'll ask the public if they had any more questions about this project. Okay, hearing none, I will move back to the commission. Anybody on the commission have any changes or suggestions that we might not have appropriately covered in the draft order of conditions?
The draft looked good to me.
Yeah, did to me too.
Same.
Okay, fine. In that case, I will, anybody else before I close the hearing?
Nope.
Okay, I move to close the hearing on 34 Brush Hill Road.
Second,
Second.
Wow, okay, good. Any further discussion? Roll call vote. Michael, I. Jacob,
Aye.
Woody,
aye.
Matt,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
and Kurt.
Aye.
Okay. Okay, now, I'll make a motion that I basically, as the order has, that we approve the project subject to the conditions in the order, based on the fact that this, the work and the appropriate mitigation will, not the appropriate, the negotiated mitigation will not, as a result, there'll be no detriment to the wetland resources adjacent to this project. And I guess I will leave it at that. Do I have a second?
Second,
Any further discussion? Okay, roll call vote. Michael, I. Jacob,
Aye.
Courtney,
aye.
Matt,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Kurt.
Aye.
Okay. That one is done. We'll get out an order of conditions.
Thank
for
you
that.
very much.
Okay. Geez, we still have 2 minutes. Well,
You were questioning the timing.
I know, I'm trying to see if I could really beat the clock. Not really. We do want our public input as and other discussion as needed. Okay. Let's see, is there any other little tidbits here? I guess I'll start a discussion whether people read the in the folder there for the Open Space Committee. There's the Open Space Master Plan that is being revised as it's done, I think, every
5 years.
5 years? Oh, okay. It's a nice document. We can send out a copy of it. But they're doing it now, and there's certain areas of concern raised, well, not concern, issues that are appropriate for the Conservation Commission. They have a nice working group on this plan, and most of it on the plan, and most of it's been done. What they're looking for 1 or 2 people here to join in a few meetings. And look over the sections and report back to the commission as a whole as to where they might be referencing the Conservation Commission. But you can read more details in an email from Kelly that's in the folder, in the files there. It would be nice if 1 or 2 folks, it is a nice other group of folks there. I will continue this discussion. This is just a primer. Okay, I'm now reopening the continued public hearing for the notice of intent for 169 Maple Street, soil testing for a septic system. Okay, there was a
So there was a revised plan that was submitted in response to a site walk that Karen and I had made, or I had made and talked to Karen about.
Alexa, shut it off.
what was that? Who's talking? Is that Martin?
Do you want me to share the new plan, the revised plan, Grace?
No,
I'm sorry, Joyce.
you can, but what I wanted to say was that I went out to the field and there are no new flags. And I feel like if you recall, Karen, what was done was, and I think it was just a miscommunication, that little wetland that was flagged was just moved off the property And it should also be, well, reflagged, but shifted down. So I spoke to, I think what we would do is just remove that from the plan and set up, we believe that it's more than 25 feet from the property line to the wetland on the abutter's property. And if we can set up all testing so that it's a minimum of 25 feet from the stone wall onto the property so that it doesn't go closer than that, then I believe that we can, we'll change a couple of the conditions that we had sent out as the rough draft, but be able to approve this tonight. And any subsequent filings will reflect the proper line on the plan. Does that make, did I say that? Does that make sense, Bob?
Well, I guess, right. I
That
guess
makes
we have-
sense.
We have choices here. You can either go delineate that other wetland, or as I guess maybe we should bring up the plan just so the rest of the commission can see, or I can do it. Let's see here. I guess the commission should see what's going on here. Computer is deciding to be slow. What's going on here? Interesting. Or maybe Karen, you might have to do it. Let's see if my computer is behaving any better now. Okay.
I
here
can
we go.
try, Michael.
No, mine's working now.
Okay.
Oops. The sketch. Where did you put the new?
It's called 169
Oh,
Maple
yeah,
Street.
right now I understand. Right now I see where it was. Okay. Okay, there we go. Things are behaving. Okay. For the rest of the commission, I'd spoken to Joyce about this earlier. What there used to be wetlands sort of down here that Joyce said when she went out and looked at, said that that wasn't where they were really located. The sense is that they're somewhere around here. And the choices are to require whether the that this wetland gets fully delineated, or a possible interim thing, since it's just sort of testing, is that Joyce goes out into the field and with them and work out where roughly the edge of the wetland might be, the closest point to the property there, and then do a field adjustment on this thing here, depending on where the 50-foot would come here. And we'd have to just condition it that there would be, the agent would go out there and mark a point, but for any future. So therefore, we're not really approving a delineation here, but we will be using one point to just at least delineate whether, to decide whether this testing area 1 needs to be cut back to keep out of the 50-foot buffer zone, or whether it's fine where it is. That's
So,
the issue.
yeah. So, I mean, that seems to be the most efficient way. And then if we could have civilized solutions, just take the wetland off the plan, so we're not showing something that's not there, and then we'll issue the order if you approve it tonight.
Yeah. So for the commission, do you have, I mean, obviously it's an issue whether the applicant accepts this too, but whether the commission would accept the this kind of fix of just figure out one point here to do it if the applicant finds that acceptable versus also just requiring that that area just be delineated as part of the NOI. Does anybody on the commission have a point of view about this? I think I could live with doing the 1 point with Joyce going out there and then marking off the 50 feet.
So I'm kind of confused at this point. So, can we what were the two options? Either
Two option is that this is not delineated. There's no flags there.
right.
In here, and Joyce was thinking the wetlands are probably more likely around here.
Yeah, and I understand that was in a different spot than anticipated. So I just need to boil it down because there
The
was,
boiling down is we make them delineate whatever is here and then mark out the 50-foot buffer zone, or we have a condition that says that for this particular project, we're not delineating this area, but there'll be 1 point. Joyce will come out with a point that's closest to test area 1 and that they'll agree on, and then mark out 50 feet from there. And then
Okay,
and
so
mark that out.
it's really up to the applicant. If he would like the whole wetland line fixed, then we could certainly wait for that to get finished. Or if he just wants to move ahead with his testing, it sounds like, we're comfortable enough to approve the testing without fixing the whole wetland line, right? Is that?
That's what I'm trying to get from the commission. We know the two.
Okay.
options.
Yep,
I just want to know where the commission.
Yeah, so I'm fine with either of those options.
Me
I
too.
think I understand the question now.
Okay, I just want to make sure, before we ask what the applicant wants, I just want to make sure that we have two options that that unless the applicant says he's ready to just fully delineate it. But I just want to make sure that the commission is okay with these two options. Do I hear anybody having trouble with either of them? Okay, you'll get another chance to comment. Bob, are those two options clear to you? Or
Yeah, I think they are. So I think the concept is that we have an approximate idea of where they are right now, but when we get ready to test, Joyce will come out and we'll run a tape and make sure that we are 50 feet away from where Joyce sees it. And then if and when we do a project in the back, which would implicate that particular resource area, we would do the full delineation and come back to you for whatever it is that whether it's an RDA or an NOI, at that time. I'm comfortable with that, and I appreciate that. Yeah.
okay.
And this was Joyce's idea, so I think it makes sense.
Oh, yeah, no, right, I mean, normally we've done notice of intents where we basically, in the order, we approve certain parts of the wetland, but not all of it. And note that. So this is something we've done in other cases. I guess I should ask, are there any comments from the public about this? This approach we're going to take? Speak up since I can't see everybody. Okay. Fine. Then we will let's see, I'll stop sharing for the moment. So the order of conditions then, were there any other comments, Bob, that you had on the draft order of conditions that you saw versus what we're about to add to?
No, obviously we're not cutting any trees or anything, so it's going to be minimally invasive.
Oh yeah, no, it's just a matter of restoring. I mean, the only changes I had is just adding in this. I mean, I had put in some text that I could work out with Joyce about that. The extent of testing area number 1 will be adjusted in the field in consultation with the conservation agent to ensure that all testing is outside of the 50-foot buffer zone of a wetland on the adjacent property. And that we're only, and there's also a comment that we're only approving the wetland line for the flags that are on the plan. And that all disturbed areas of the buffer zone will be restored. So those are the addendums that I was proposing for the order of conditions. Anybody have any comments on that on the commission or anybody? Okay. In that case, I will move to close the public hearing on 169 Maple Street.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote. Michael, I. Jacob,
Aye.
Courtney,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Kurt,
Aye.
and Matt.
Aye.
Okay. I will move that we approve this project subject to the conditions we've discussed, such that this testing will not adversely affect the wetland resources on the property and nearby. I guess I'll just leave it at that. We have the conditions. Did I hear a second?
Yes.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Roll call vote. Michael, I. Jacob,
Aye.
Courtney,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Kurt,
Aye.
Matt.
Aye.
Okay. Done. We'll get out the slightly amended order of conditions to you. And you'll just have to coordinate with Joyce about whether go in the field there, and I guess actually what we didn't talk about was the fact that I sort of wrote here that there might be some markers put up on on the property there so that you don't, so that the contractors or whatever's going on doesn't go into the 50-foot buffer zone. Okay, so we've done with that. It is 7:38. So
Thank you all.
Great, thank you.
Appreciate it.
sure. Moving on, I'm reopening the continued public hearing for the Bailey Trail on Old Orchard Road for a bridge to help avoid more damage to the wetlands there on the trails. As I gather, I don't think anybody's here for that.
Yes, Karen is here.
Oh yeah, Karen's here.
I'm here.
Oh,
Yep.
but I gather in summary that we had comments from the DEP and they need more of a sketch of what the bridge looks like and whatnot. But after conversation with them, it seemed like for the modest activity that's going on, that this project should not be a problem there once they see a sketch. And the suggestion is that we could approve, we could close the hearing and approve the project if so desired, conditioned on having a sketch that will be prepared in a timely fashion by someone. And that's the issue for the commission itself. They just need something akin to what we've done for other little trail bridges there. And so that would be my suggested approach to this. Does anybody on the commission have any comments about that? Okay. Hearing none. Anybody in the public have any comments about this? Okay. Hearing none. Then I move to close the hearing for the Bailey Trail Bridge.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Okay, roll call vote. Michael, I. Jacob,
Aye.
Courtney,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Kurt,
Aye.
Matt.
Aye.
Okay. I move that we approve this project as it'll clearly be a benefit to the wetlands. to avoid what's going on now as wandering around through the buffer zone and the wetlands and the trail. The new trail will be much greater benefit for them. And we'll get a sketch. So subject to getting a sketch of the bridge, I move that we approve the project. And so it'll be a benefit to the wetlands.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? Roll call vote. Michael, I, Jacob,
Aye.
Courtney,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Bert,
Aye.
Matt.
Aye.
Okay,
I think you skipped over 21 Prospect
I
Street.
did. Oh, yeah. Wowie zowie.
Well, thank you very much, Michael.
Yes, there you go.
Have a good night, everyone.
Yes, there's a whole litany of things here. I was waiting for that. Okay. I will now reopen the continued public hearing for the request for determination of applicability for 21 Prospect Street for the related to the unpermitted work there. In summary, Joyce can add to this that as we, tonight's task is twofold, that whether we actually formally do this as a positive because of the wetland issues, that it wouldn't be under a request for determination of applicability, so we could issue a positive determination, which means that we do have wetland concerns there, and that we also then approve the friendly enforcement order that we discussed last time, and that the draft is in the meeting folder. I think that the letter is fine for me, is okay. We'll obviously be doing refining along the way as they remove the wood chips and see what's left there. So what do others think of that? Doing it that way and of the enforcement letter?
Makes sense to me.
Mhm.
The
Okay,
letter looks reasonable to me.
okay. So Joyce, I guess we first want to issue the positive determination and then approve the enforcement letter.
Correct.
Okay. So I move that, I guess it's a positive 2A. Is there a letter there? Or number? I can't remember. We don't do positives very often.
It looks like there's 3 different items. in
Yeah,
there.
if you open the letter, Michael,
What?
if you open the letter,
Oh, wow. It's in there. Okay. Let's see. Under the DOA. Is it under the,
so it's under the determination, so,
now I see it now. Okay.
okay,
Cover letter. Or is it the other part?
so,
Okay, it's okay. Okay. Okay, fine. I now move that we issue an RD, a determination of applicability with a positive determination. It's a positive 2B because the wetland resource areas are not confirmed. A positive 3 that it requires the filing of a notice of intent or some other permitting form, such as an enforcement order, and positive 5 that the proposed activity is subject to local jurisdiction under Sherborn wetlands protection, wetlands regulations. So we're not permitting the work under the RDA, and we're issuing an enforcement order instead. That was a long motion, but I'll leave it at
Second.
that. Thank you. Any further discussion? Has anybody had comments on this? I didn't ask for the public or anybody else. Hearing none, I will now go into a roll call. Michael Lesser, aye. Jacob,
Aye.
Courtney? Whoops, I didn't hear anything.
Aye.
Okay, Steve,
Mark down?
Aye.
Kurt,
Aye.
Matt?
Aye.
Okay, so we should pause determination. Now, does anybody have any discussion of the enforcement order before I move to approve it? Okay, hearing none, I move to approve the enforcement letter as drafted to be sent out to the applicant and then work with them. on,
Second.
thank
Oops,
you.
sorry, you weren't done.
Well, that's fine. And any further discussion? Okay, roll call vote. Michael, aye. Jacob,
Aye.
Courtney,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Kurt,
Aye.
Matt.
Aye.
Okay. Now we're back on schedule there and we're a whole 7 minutes late. Thank you, 81 Prospect Street. Okay, I am now reopening the continued public hearing for 81 Prospect Street.
Hi, I'm here for that.
Okay, I guess we'll say that we've gotten the new plans
Mhm.
and I've other both people have read it. I guess I've looked at it. And I would say that everything seemed to be there. Trying to see, I thought I had it here, open. But Joyce, do you want to make any comments to the commission while I open it up for myself?
No, I think they went back after our last meeting and addressed all the concerns that we had and revised the plan as we discussed. I don't know if everybody's had a chance to look at the revised plan. They did put in the grass swale and the proposed there's proposed mitigation and wetland markers. So it addressed all my issues.
Mm-hmm. Does anybody else on the commission have any questions or comments? I guess the location of the 2000, right. Guess I didn't see the there it is. Somewhere there's the calculation of the pavement area, I guess, of the impervious area, and that's considered 2000.
Yep, if you look at the table at the bottom.
Yeah, nice. It's just I'm trying to get my thing to zoom in a little
Oh, yeah.
so I can actually read something.
Let me know if you need me to put it on the screen.
I have it on here.
Okay.
Does anybody want to see it on the screen? I have it on my screen, but I could easily.
Maybe if you put it up on the screen, Nathaniel, and just quickly go through I don't know if everybody's seen it, but.
Yep. Well, going through what the chair is talking about, the calculation for how we calculated the mitigation, the direction was to take the impervious area of the driveways and the driveway, the type of grass paver that it is has a 40% permeability. So the inverse of that is 60%. So we took 60% of the impacts and did it over the amount that's proposed, and you're left with just over 2,000 for quote impervious proposed within the buffer zone. So we provided just over that in mitigation. So this is the calc right here.
Yeah, I see that now.
Yep.
Um,
Maybe it's a little too close.
Not on that. Okay. Does anybody on the commission have any questions about this? And did anybody have any comments on the, what do we have here?
Did any of the commission members have any questions on the location of the mitigation?
Yeah. I guess the tree, oh yeah, actually, Okay, yeah, I did have a question myself now that in terms of the monuments. Do other people have comments before I'm getting that up?
You should go ahead.
Okay.
Could you actually, I do have a question. In the proposed mitigation area in the lower right, or I guess in the middle right on the what you're showing right now, what is in that spot right now?
Right here,
Where, yeah,
just lawn, and it goes up to
Okay.
the edge of the tree line.
got it. Okay, and then the same area in the lower left, that one's also lawn right now.
Yeah, it's like a very small strip of vegetation that's adjacent to the wetland. It's not much. It's the flag is basically like right on the edge of the lawn, so that's why we kind of picked this area to
Okay.
bump out the undisturbed area from the edge of the wetland.
Okay, got it. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, but it goes like lawn right up to wetland, basically.
Yeah. Right. I mean, obviously, anywhere along there would be useful. Although sometimes it's, I guess you do have I guess the crown cover there is marked between the two different mitigation areas. I guess I would like to see, given where the mitigation areas are, I wonder if we could add a couple of bounds along the tree line, since you're so close to the wetlands, that that would stretch between, I don't know, there's a bound. I don't know, I guess I'd like to see a bound with the mitigation area. That's to the left,
Over here, yeah.
somewhere in the middle there on the left, the lower one.
Mm.
And then, I guess there are mounds. There are 3 mounds there, or some mounds along the, okay, I see those.
Yeah, we were asked for 4 in the memo, so we put
Yeah,
4.
I know you asked for 4, but now that I see how the mitigation is spread out, I wouldn't mind seeing another one somewhere in between that mitigation area of the 1,500 square feet and the other mound and the other monument that's whatever towards the barn, so that it's clear that because that's particularly close to the wetlands. I don't know what others think. I could say just 1 or maybe 2 there. Do other commissioners have a view about that?
That makes sense to me.
Okay, 1 or 2. Do you care or think what's important?
Well, it seems to be pretty far from where the wetland bound is, the furthest one near the barn to where the mitigation is. So it might be a good idea to have 2.
So you're talking maybe like one right here and then one where the mitigation
Yeah,
is?
something like that.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
Okay, so that is, I think that's my only comments in terms of that. Did anybody have any specific comments on the conditions? Do we have? Let's see. Okay. This is do we have a survival condition about, oh yeah, 2 growing seasons. Okay, I see that. Okay. Fine. Does anybody on the commission or the applicant have any comments on the draft order of conditions? And with the change here, and does anybody in the public have any comments to make about this project? Okay, hearing none, I will move to close the hearing.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Roll call vote. Michael, I. Jacob,
Aye.
Courtney,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Matt,
Aye.
Kurt,
Aye.
Okay. I will now move to approve the project subject to the mitigation and conditions that are in the order that we've discussed and will be in the order. And therefore the wetlands will be adequately protected, even though already exposed by a small amount of buffer zone. So move to approve the project with those conditions.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, roll call vote. Michael, I, Jacob,
Aye.
Courtney,
Aye.
Steve. Steve has disappeared. Kurt,
Aye.
Matt,
Aye.
I guess that's all right. We have one abstention, we'll call it.
Okay.
And we'll go, oh yeah. Hey, Steve, you want to vote? I see shadow.
Sorry, I just had to step out for a second. Yes, aye.
Okay, fine. No abstentions. Okay. There you go. We'll
Thank
get
you.
at the order of conditions and have fun doing the project.
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay. Fine. Thank you. Moving on. It is now discussion of the certificate of, I guess we have the two things. Joyce, should we do one before the other on Hunting Lane?
Mark, thoughts? The order of?
So we're requesting a certificate of compliance. So if we can get a certificate of compliance, we would withdraw the extension request.
Perfect.
So we would, yeah, we're requesting a COC, close the permit.
Okay, then
That's-
there's nothing to extend. Okay,
Nothing to extend, exactly.
fine. I see the order, the rationale. Okay, Joyce went out to the site and it seems to comply. It complies, not seems, it complies with the order, except for, I guess, the removal. There's a bit of one bit of something there, some trash that you guys can pull out manually.
It seems like it's maybe left over from the dewatering, right in the middle of the gravel pad.
Okay.
Nothing
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah, we'll make sure it gets taken out and we can take photographs before and after to show you that it got taken out.
Okay, hold up a newspaper to see you get the right date. Okay. I don't know if anybody else has looked at this, have any comments about it?
No, I think it's straightforward and we can approve it subject to removing that dewatering leftover.
Right. And things are growing back, although there still needs to be some additional growing back. We'll just have to be more careful about
There's a
some.
lot of bittersweet, but it's everything is growing back up through
Mm.
the stone. It's all trap rock, but again, it looks stabilized and fine.
Yeah, right. We just have to worry about how we condition that in the future. Okay, then I move to grant the certificate of compliance for DEP file 283-0389 for 0 Hunting Lane.
With the conditions we talked about, or with the,
With the subsequent to the removal of the dewatering trash.
second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Or anybody in the public has any comments? Okay, roll call vote. Michael, I, Jacob,
Aye.
Courtney,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Kurt,
Aye.
Matt.
Aye.
Okay. You have your certificate of compliance. I am now reopening the continued public hearing on the request to extend an order of conditions.
Thank you,
for
Mr.
the-
Chair. Mark Arnold with Goddard Consulting. We would request that the request to extend DEP 283-389 be withdrawn without prejudice on behalf of the applicant, who is Igor Labarsky of Barsky Estate Realty Trust.
Okay, and I guess Gary, you agree?
Yes, I am.
Okay, in that case, I guess it's withdrawn. Do we have to do anything more than that?
We'll write a letter.
Okay. fine. Okay,
Thank you so much.
yep, we're done there.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. We've worked through most of the things here. Okay. Before we get to the minutes, that we have one copy of, I want to go back to what I started with on the, I guess, let's see if I have this right. Has anybody looked, I want to come back to the open space plan. And whether anybody has looked at the email from Kelly that's in the folder, where he talks about I mean, they've done most of the work. And so there's some areas where the Conservation Commission has discussed as to what we can do. But I can't see if I see what the actual work level is.
So he's just looking for a couple of commission members to make some comments, and the participation could be made through Zoom. It doesn't necessarily have to be an in-person meeting. But they are kind of really hoping that there'll be 2 participants.
Okay, while you're thinking about it, we'll let Marion speak.
Yeah, I see Kelly isn't here, so I'll say a couple words. The open space plan previously had to be renewed every 7 years. Our 7 years comes up at the end of in October 2025, but we're moving hard and fast to try to get it done before then. And we will be coming around. Kelly probably will be the one looking for input from the Concom. And I like the idea. I think it's Kelly's idea of drawing 2 Concom members into the process. But the plan is by no means done. I don't want to give you the misconception that it's done and ready to go. We're still working out the text. We have a lot of data to get in place, a lot of maps to finish. But at some point along the way, we will be coming to Concom, or Concom can send 2 members to the Open Space Committee to give us input, mainly on what are the needs for the next 10 years, because from now on, the state is going to require an update every 10 years.
Yeah, okay.
That's all I have to say.
People have questions about what the task involves for somebody, and could somebody be, are folks, anybody interested?
I have interest, but I am a little involved with them as right now, but I have interest. Yes.
Okay,
I think we should nominate whoever's not here.
yeah, that's my thinking too. Unless somebody else here wants to, Jacob, Courtney, Matt.
The Open Space Committee will make it a very easy task for you, believe me. We just want to brainstorm with you, basically. And
Right.
that's not too hard to do. So
And they'll serve in.
not a big time commitment.
Yes.
Could be interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting, actually. You'll love it.
Yes, having been part of the Open Space Committee a long time ago, it is an interesting document. And so you could always try it out. If it doesn't suit your cup of tea, you can back off and somebody else. So at this point, we seem to have Jacob and Steve. And you'll see how it goes. I mean, if you can't make it or do it. So we will, you have their email addresses probably, or we'll send it to you and you can see how that goes. Is that okay, Jacob?
Yeah.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. Let's see. We dealt with open space. What was the land management issue besides the graffiti on trees? I thought we had another issue.
Kelly approached me about a memorial bench that
Oh, yeah.
they would like to put up. And I took two pictures of the location. It would be in the Barber Reservation in the North Field, near the entrance to the North Field. It would be on next to the stone wall, out of the path of the mower, so that they could still maintain the field without having to go around things. This would be a stone bench.
Are there pictures in the file or in?
There's pictures in the. There should be pictures in the. Is there an
I saw the
agent's?
pictures.
You saw the pictures.
Yep,
Okay.
I see them.
Under what? Under,
Agents report.
agent's report. Wow, there's something there. Okay.
That's my first ever agent thing.
I know, I was about to say, I didn't even consider looking. Yeah, okay,
So because it's under it's conservation property, they would need the commission's permission to do that.
okay. Where are they? They're actually putting it where in the photo, but I guess.
If you bring it up, I can.
Yeah, I guess.
It's right as you enter through the stone wall. If you're coming into the field, it would be on the left. Excuse me, on the right.
Talking about in this photo?
I don't.
Yes.
I
So
don't
yeah,
have issues with that.
you're looking back towards the entrance.
Right.
I'm standing with looking at that front corner, right up next to the stone wall.
Okay, somewhere there. No, I think it's be a nice gesture there, and
Is it a memorial to somebody?
Yes.
Do we know who? Is this?
To Beth Jenkins.
Oh,
yeah. Frank lives on Western Ave. They live
Yeah.
on Western Ave up there.
Yeah, no, Frank.
Long time. Oh, okay. Then you know Frank.
so you said it would be a stone bench.
Yes.
mhm,
So
And that would be the view from the bench.
yeah.
so presumably somebody's got to move a big stone bench out there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Luckily that path can handle.
It would not be us.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say, ask us to volunteer for that.
Okay, now we're asking for volunteers.
Mhm.
Then we're gonna give you a hammer and a chisel. Okay, I move that we approve the memorial bench for Beth Jenkins on the Barber Reservation in the location discussed.
Second.
Any further discussion? Okay, roll call vote. Michael, I. Jacob,
Aye.
Courtney,
Aye.
Kurt,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Matt.
Aye.
Okay, and there you go. Well, it should be nice. Let's see if I go back to the agent's report.
Oh, the other thing, that's the graffiti, yeah.
Yeah, okay, what were you gonna say before I go?
That's the that's the graffiti there.
Let's see, one tree.
There's 4 trees. I couldn't show the 4th one because it's not an appropriate word to put up on screen.
Okay. I was about to say $1 sign. What are the politics here? I guess we don't have enough rail cars or anything else to draw on around in Sherborn. So do we know? So do we don't have any sense of whether it's a one-time thing or not.
I don't know. Somebody brought it to Kelly's attention, and while we were out there, we took a look, and I will look into some methods if no one has any bright ideas.
No, I mean, I think your 2 options are probably the ones you found already. It's either like spray it with graffiti remover,
Right.
which is like you can put the stuff on there, but it's going to be a little hard to wash
Yeah.
off, and paint over it.
I'll have to go to Home Depot with the color chip.
Yeah, I was gonna say get some of that like wood filler.
Yeah, right.
All right, so I'm just bringing that, and then lastly, if you
Hold
close
on,
this one
just
down.
one thing of
Oh yeah.
that a little of a minor stickler point of whether it's not worth putting too many more chemicals out there, depending on what it takes to remove this versus.
Oh, it was this, there's a graffiti remover that's
Yeah.
okay for trees. It's a citrus based.
Yeah,
Okay.
Um,
great.
yeah.
It's
Okay.
not,
Okay, point done then. Okay. Did you want me to take this down or you're gonna do
yeah, then no, go to the next, just very quickly, while we were out there, and I believe you all have mentioned it before, there is, on the banking down from the field next to the parking lot down to the pond is all full of invasives.
I like
And,
the picture.
and what I believe that we have approved the invasives removal under a request for determination of applicability. And I wanted to see if that would be something that the commission would be willing to do. This is commission land. I'm not sure who the applicant would be or who would be presenting it. I believe ultimately we can say the town owns the property, really. And so the town would be the applicant for a request for determination to control invasives. And would you all feel that an RDA is sufficient for invasives removal? There'll be nothing dug up and nothing, none of it's all interspersed with native materials, so it would be just removing
This is all handwork we're talking about here. Right?
all handwork, yes.
Yeah, that seems appropriate.
Didn't
Yep.
you approve something when they did the parking lot that included going towards the
I
pond?
don't,
Not this
wasn't there.
area,
Okay.
because
Okay.
there was some confusion initially, because it had been talked about as targeted, like what Joyce has just described, but then at some point there was also this discussion of like the brush hog, but I think we decided that this was outside the scope of maintaining that parking area and open area. Did I make that up, Joyce?
No, that sounds right.
Okay.
Okay, no, it makes sense to me
Yeah.
as a way to go, because that would be nice since if there's natural stuff that can come back.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see how they define poison ivy.
I don't think anybody's gonna touch poison ivy.
Okay.
All right, that's all I have. Thank you very much.
Any other commissioner comments on this land management stuff? Okay. And let's see, stop share. Oh no, I'm not going to stop share. Cause where is it? The last thing on the agenda are some minutes.
I read them beforehand, and it looked like you were going through them as well, and I agreed with your edits.
Yes, there was one thing we needed to check. So yeah, did anybody else have any comments? There was one thing, just to check
I
that.
saw your note to check, but that was my only comment.
Okay. Anybody else have any comments or want to read through it?
I looked at them. They looked okay to me.
I looked them over too. I didn't, not with a fine tooth comb, but everything I saw looked good.
Okay.
Although I didn't see your edits, so maybe I should take a
I
look at
didn't
that.
either.
Just this one thing here. This is the only thing that I was questioning, because I thought since this was an affordable housing project that we were looking at it.
It was only under the Wetlands Protection Act. You are correct.
Okay, fine. So you just accept this thing here and be done. Okay. Unless anybody wants to read more. Okay, I'll move to approve the draft minutes as edited for May 8th, 2025.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote. Michael, aye. Courtney?
Aye.
Steve?
Aye.
Bert?
Aye.
Matt?
Aye.
Jacob?
Aye.
I think that's it. Okay. We did that. And okay, do we have any other things? I don't think so.
No.
Okay, we did pretty well. A
We
1
did
hour.
really well.
I've been encouraged to be efficient.
Good work, good
Gold
work.
star. This is a gold star meeting, and we recorded it.
Oh, even better.
That's even more important.
Yes. Okay, everybody. See you, I think it's, what is it, 3 weeks now? For the way this thing
Yes,
goes?
it's 3 weeks out.
Okay.
All right, wait. So wait, when's the next one?
The next one is in June, still the second Thursday, but it's June 12th.
June 12th. Okay, got it.
And then the 26th.
All right, see y'all then.
Bye-bye.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Kurt, if you want to stay on for a minute, I want to, but ask you, but hold on. Let me, oh yeah, move to adjourn.
Second.
8:17. Any further discussion? Okay, roll call vote. Jacob,
Aye.
Michael, I, Courtney,
Bye.
Matt,
Hi.
Steve,
Hi.
Kurt. Okay, meeting is adjourned.